Let's begin over 6,000 years ago. Syria, at the crossroads of Asia, Africa, and Europe, has been home to some of the world's earliest civilizations. The ancient city of Ebla, discovered in the 1970s, revealed a thriving society in the 3rd millennium BCE. Gifts from pharaohs, found during excavations, confirm Ebla's contact with Egypt. Ebla was weakened by a long war with another civilization called Mari, and the whole of Syria became part of the Mesopotamian Akkadian Empire. From this time, Syria became a battleground for various foreign empires, these being the Hittite Empire, Mitanni Empire, Egyptian Empire, Middle Assyrian Empire, and to a lesser degree Babylonia. A Canaanite group known as the Phoenicians came to dominate the coasts of Syria from the 13th century BCE. Syria and the western half of Near East then fell to the vast Neo-Assyrian Empire in the 9th century BCE. Lands that constitute modern-day Syria were later part of the Neo-Babylonian Empire until they were annexed by the largest empire in history at the time, the Achaemenid Empire, in 539 BC. Led by Cyrus the Great. Syria was later conquered by the Macedonian Empire, which was ruled by Alexander the Great in 330 BC, and consequently became the Coele Syria province of the Seleucid Empire. Syria briefly came under Armenian control from 83 BC, with the conquests of the Armenian king Tigranes the Great, who was welcomed as a savior from the Seleucids and Romans by the Syrian people. However, Pompey the Great, a general of the Roman Empire, rode to Syria and captured Ansh, its capital, and turned Syria into a Roman province in 64 BC, thus ending Armenian control over the region, which had lasted 2 decades. Syria prospered under Roman rule, being strategically located on the Silk Road, which gave it massive wealth and importance, making it the battleground for the rivaling Romans and Persians. Syria is significant in the history of Christianity. Saulus of Tarsus, better known as the Apostle Paul, was converted on the road to Damascus and emerged as a significant figure in the Christian church at Ansh in ancient Syria. By AD 640, Syria was conquered by the Arab Rashidun army led by Khalid ibn al-Walid. In the mid-7th century, the Umayyad dynasty, then rulers of the empire, placed the capital of the empire in Damascus. Sections of Syria were held by French, English, Italian, and German overlords between 1098 and 1189 AD during the Crusades, and were known collectively as the Crusader states. The Mongols of the Ilkhanate took Aleppo in October 1280. This was contested by an Egyptian state ruled by the Mamluks, and they fought against the Mongols on the 29th of October, 1281, in the Second Battle of Homs, which was won by the Mamluks. In 1400, the Muslim Turco-Mongol conqueror Tamerlane invaded Syria, in which he sacked Aleppo, and captured Damascus after defeating the Mamluk army. In 1516, the Ottoman Empire invaded the Mamluk Sultanate of Egypt, conquering Syria, and incorporating it into its empire. Ottoman administration followed a system that led to peaceful coexistence of Syria's many different cultures and religions. During World War I, the Ottoman Empire entered the conflict on the side of Germany and the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It ultimately suffered defeat and loss of control of the entire Near East to the British Empire and French Empire. In 1920, a short-lived independent kingdom of Syria was established under Faisal I of the Hashemite family. However, his rule over Syria ended after only a few months, following the Battle of Maysilon. French troops occupied Syria later that year. Syria and France negotiated a treaty of independence in September 1936, and Hashim al-Atassi was the first president to be elected under the first incarnation of the modern Republic of Syria. However, the treaty never came into force because the French legislature refused to ratify it. Continuing pressure from Syrian nationalists and the British forced the French to evacuate their troops in April 1946, leaving the country in the hands of a republican government that had been formed during the Mandate. On the 1st of February 1958, Syrian President Shukri al-Quwatli and Egypt's Nasser announced the merging of Egypt and Syria, creating the United Arab Republic. Syria seceded from the union with Egypt on the 28th of September 1961 after a coup and terminated the political union. The instability which followed the 1961 coup culminated in the 8th of March 1963 Ba'athist coup. The takeover was engineered by members of the Arab Socialist Ba'ath Party, led by Michel Aflaq and Salah al-Din al-Baito. The 1963 Ba'athist coup marked a radical break in modern Syrian history, after which Ba'ath Party monopolized power in the country to establish a one-party state. When the Six-Day War broke out between Egypt and Israel, Syria joined the war and attacked Israel as well. In the final days of the war, Israel turned its attention to Syria, capturing two-thirds of the Golan Heights in under 48 hours. The power struggle culminated in the November 1970 Syrian Corrective Movement, a bloodless military coup that installed Hafiz al-Assad as the strongman of the government. Hafiz al-Assad died on the 10th of June, 2000. His son, Bashar al-Assad, was elected president in an election in which he ran unopposed. Public demonstrations across Syria began on the 26th of January 2011 and developed into a nationwide uprising. Protesters demanded the resignation of President Bashar al-Assad, the overthrow of his government, and an end to nearly 5 decades of Ba'ath Party rule. Since spring 2011, the Syrian government deployed the Syrian army to quell the uprising, and several cities were besieged. On the 8th of December 2024, opposition forces captured the capital Damascus, toppling Bashar al-Assad's government and ending the Assad family's 53-year-long rule over the country.